Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Unlocking Innovations, Navigating DARPA and the DARPA Connect Portal. I am Ishrat Nazmi, Business Development Manager at Connecticut APEX Accelerator, and I'll be your host for this session. The webinar is brought to you by the Connecticut APEX Accelerator in collaborations with Region 1 APEX, which includes Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, Maine, New Hampshire, Rhode Island. We are happy to include the LaGuardia APEX Accelerator from Region 2 as well. Before we begin, I want to highlight a few housekeeping notes. Please use the Q&A tool to submit your questions at any time. We'll address as many as possible during the Q&A session at the end. A copy of today's slide will be sent to you after the webinar. The session is unclassified and is being recorded for future reference. Without further ado, let's begin today's session. The DoD APEX Accelerator Program, formerly known as the Procurement Technical Assistant Program, was established in 1985 by the Department of Defense. Today, we have 97 APEX Accelerator across 49 states and territories, all working to make government contracting more accessible. The Connecticut APEX Accelerator is committed to educating, training businesses in our region, ensuring they have the knowledge and tool needed to successfully work with the Department of Defense and other government agencies. The Connecticut APEX Accelerator is funded through a cooperative agreement with the Department of Defense and the State of Connecticut, Department of Economic and Community Development. Our host agency is Southeastern Connecticut Enterprise Region. The Connecticut APEX Accelerator offers expert support in understanding and managing the intricacies of government contracting. Our service includes one-on-one counselings, training and workshops, bid matching assistance, guidance on government contracting opportunities, capability statements, and many more. And we provide all of these services and many more services at no cost. We're here to help you position your business for success. We have office locations throughout the state of Connecticut, including East Hartford, Rocky Hill, Milford, and our headquarters in Groton, Connecticut. At the Connecticut APEX, we understand that collaboration is key to success in government contracting. These are some of our strategic partners. Together, we support businesses in navigating the complexities of federal, state, and local government procurement. Here's a quick agenda. We will welcome and introduce the APEX Accelerator team. Our guest speaker today is Ms. Jennifer Thabet and Dr. Jess. Our guest speaker is Ms. Jennifer Thabet and Dr. Jess Resig. They will discuss DARPA programs and how to navigate the DARPA Connect Portal. We will have the opportunity to ask them questions, and we will have, we're really planning an insightful session today. So let's dive right in. Before we begin today's session, I'd like to take a moment to introduce the regional APEX Accelerator team that are participating today. First, let's meet the Connecticut APEX Accelerator team. Leading our team of 7 is Marisol Herrera, the state director. Next, we have the Massachusetts. Peter Crockett, the director of Massachusetts, could not be here today, so I welcome our audience from Massachusetts. And now I'll hand it over to Vermont for a brief introduction.
Hello and good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you to Connecticut for organizing and pulling this together. It looks like it's going to be a great event. Another special thank you to our guest speakers today. So I am Joanne Spalding. I am the director for the Vermont APEX Accelerator. I'm also currently serving as our national organization's Region 1 director, which covers all of the New England states. So very similar to how Connecticut is set up, we are a state and federally funded program. We are housed under the Agency of Commerce and Community Development, and we are a statewide program. We're also a team of 7. And as you can see from the slide here, we have satellite locations very similar to Connecticut across the state to help service our clients better. We are headquartered in Montpelier, Vermont. The one individual that is not listed on the current slide that you're seeing right now is Denise Nelson. She is our administrative services coordinator. And if you reach out to us at any of our general phone number or our email address, most likely it'll be Denise that will field those calls for you. I think I'm passing it over now to Maine.
Brian, is Brian on the line?
I do not see Brian on the line.
Huh. Well, we welcome our audience from Maine. And Joanne, you know a little bit more about the Maine programs. Do you mind?
Oh, put me on the spot.
I know.
So Maine is also a statewide program. They are the biggest state here in New England. They have a lot more satellite locations, and they work through sub-recipient grants. So they have thorough coverage across the entire state. They have a very robust team. They are housed like we're housed through the Eastern Maine Development Corporation. The program director, if you can see from the slide over there in the middle line, is Brian Wallace, and he is out of the Bangor office.
Okay, we welcome our audience from Maine. Next, we have New Hampshire.
Good morning. Thank you. I am Danielle Ruiz, the New Hampshire APEX Accelerator Program Manager. Thank you all for joining today. And thank you to our guest speakers also. And just like Vermont, we are housed under the state of New Hampshire under the Division of Economic Development. And as you can see, we have a small but mighty team of 4 of us. It's myself and Dave Pease, our senior advisor, Amanda Duquette, and Sarah Murray. Hope you all learned something great today.
Yeah, next we have Rhode Island.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Chad Lewis. I am the state director for the Rhode Island APEX. Like New Hampshire, we're a team of 4. I have myself, Jeff Brandt, the senior advisor, Ann Garcia, and Jake Bacon, who is our program support coordinator and a business advisor. So if you do reach out to us, most likely you'll talk to Jake, and he'd help you get registered and set up. We're also a statewide program, and we are housed at Rhode Island Commerce Corporation in Providence, Rhode Island. And I will turn over to the next state.
We have the LaGuardia APEX.
Hi, good morning. My name is Nelson Ortiz. I'm the director of the APEX Accelerator at LaGuardia Community College in Queens, New York. We cover as a regional center, and there's other APEXs that cover other parts of New York State. We're not a state program. But our team is focused on supporting clients and being responsive. Anything we can do to assist after this workshop to get you set up in the New York area with DARPA, please reach out to us and we'll be glad to assist. Thank you so much. And thank you to the speakers and the team at Connecticut.
Thank you, Nelson. Thank you to all my APEX colleagues. Now let's move to the main portion of today's session. We are honored to welcome 2 distinguished leaders in the defense innovation ecosystems to today's webinar. First, we have Ms. Jennifer Thabet, is an accomplished program director with extensive experience supporting DARPA and the Department of Defense. As the program director of DARPA's Small Business Program Office, Ms. Thabet plays a pivotal role in empowering small business to develop and transition cutting-edge technologies that benefits the warfighter, federal government, and commercial sector. Ms. Thabet oversees the administration of DARPA's Small Business Innovation Research, SBIR, and the Small Business Technology Transfer, STTR program, driving innovation and collaboration across industries. Additionally, she spearheaded the establishment of DARPA Connect, the agency's first partnership intermediary agreement designed to lower barrier for new innovators and guiding them to engaging with DARPA and the national security ecosystems. Next. And we are also fortunate to have another accomplished presenter today. Ms. Jess Resig is the Vice President of Solution Innovation at the Applied Research Institute and Deputy Program Manager for DARPA Connect. She brings extensive expertise in instructional design, program development, strategic innovations, with over a decade of experience leading e-learning initiatives at Penn State University. She now plays a pivotal role in fostering collaborations between DARPA and small business innovators, ensuring meaningful connections in the national security landscape. Together, Ms. Thabet and Ms. Resig drive efforts to expand opportunities for small business and new performers within the defense innovation space. We are thrilled to have them share their expertise and insights with us today. So welcome, Ms. Thabet and Ms. Resig.
Good morning. Thank you all for joining us. What a great introduction. It was really wonderful learning all about all the different APEX accelerators. Before we get started, I think we're going to start by kind of baselining and level setting everybody with a short video.
Coming to DARPA is like grabbing the nose cone of a rocket and holding on for dear life.
DARPA is a place where if you don't invent the internet, you only get a B.
A DARPA program manager quite literally invents tomorrow.
We are thinking about innovation unconstrained. Where can we go?
Predict what is emerging as threats.
We're looking for the applications that seem impossible.
That passion will be saving lives 5, 10, 15 years from now.
Coming to work every day and being humbled by that.
The innovation and collaboration, it's a team effort.
We're not builders of the ultimate technology.
It's the engineers and scientists at the companies and universities that we fund that ultimately are going to bend metal and write code and deliver these capabilities to the warfighters.
DARPA is not one person or one place. It's a collection of people that are excited about moving technology forward.
All right. I always love to show that video to kind of baseline what we do at DARPA, right? DARPA's mission is really, as you can see on the slide, about breakthrough technologies and capabilities for national security. We are really interested in revolutionary as opposed to evolutionary ideas. We try to turn the impossible into the possible. If you have an idea and you're not sure if it's going to work, we're probably your home. If you are trying to refine a widget, probably not the best place for DARPA, right? DARPA, we are known for such things as the internet, Siri, self-driving cars, prosthetics, and whatnot. But that's what we've done in the past. What we are looking for now by reaching out to you all is to find out what's next, to find those ideas that we haven't yet discovered or haven't yet heard about. So how do we do that? Let's go to the next slide. Right, at DARPA, we are broken down into 6 technical offices, the sciences offices and the technologies offices. And I would say that all 6 of the offices are great entry points for early stage R&D and especially for new entrants. All of our offices really utilize first-time performers real well. At DARPA, we actually do about 27 to 29% of our work with small businesses and countless new entrants every year. I will say these are the current thrust areas of our offices, but at DARPA, we're a relatively flat organization. And so these thrust areas are developed based on the makeup of the program managers, the technical program managers that are in those offices. So the thrust areas do tend to shift from time to time. So I know we're going to send these slides out at the end, but best to kind of take a look at our website before you submit a proposal to see if the thrusts have changed slightly in each of the offices. Let's go to the next slide and talk about how DARPA is developed, right? The characteristics of DARPA. We are a $4.1 billion funding agency. And as I said, we're looking for revolutionary ideas and change. So what does that mean? That means that we have high risk, high reward, high risk, sometimes no reward, right? We take those big swings and those big leaps. When you're trying to change the impossible into the possible, you have to accept that sometimes your ideas won't be successful as you originally envisioned. Maybe it's not a there yet, or maybe it's not time, but we are the agency that takes those big swings. You don't have to have your idea proven out to work with us. You have to have an idea. We're a program manager centric agency. And so what does that mean? That means our ideas come from our program managers. We're a really unique organization in that our program managers, or PMs, as you'll hear me say throughout the presentation, our PMs are the ones that are really dreaming up the ideas. DARPA is not given a set of thrust areas and then told to put together programs. Our PMs are the ones that are doing market research and finding areas where there's gaps, where we need to be exploring more. They are the ones that are really investigating our programs. And so as we talk throughout the presentation, you'll see how that's important for you when you are engaging with DARPA. And the other piece of this is that we do what we call just-in-time topic development. That means that as our ideas, our programs, our seedlings and whatnot get created and approved, they get released out to the street. We don't hold any of our solicitations for a certain release date. We release them as they're ready. So you should always be looking at sam.gov to see what DARPA is interested in, or at our website, darpa.mil. Let's go to the next slide and talk about how we do this, right? There's three main ways to do business with DARPA. Programs, which are large, multidisciplinary, multi-year efforts. Those typically are large efforts that have maybe multiple performers with multiple subs supporting each of the primes. Then our middle column, you see there is our challenges. Those are short duration challenges that may result in a prize up to $10 million that really try to answer a unique, quick DARPA problem. And then that last column, which we're going to focus on today, seedlings, SIBRs, and explorations. Actually, let's go to the next slide, because what I'd like to do is focus on that column, because when you are a new proposer to DARPA, this is probably the way that you can best enter the agency. And as you can see, this is a much more detailed slide. There's lots of different ways for a proposer to enter the agency. I would love for everybody to be a performer on a large program, but there's not as many large programs as there are all of these smaller entry points. And these are great ways to break into DARPA. So I'm going to pick a couple of these just to go over real quick for the purposes of time, because I want to make sure we get to our Q&A, and these slides will be distributed, right? But we have some small efforts that we do, right? We have seedlings, which tend to be small, short duration, maybe 6 to 9 month projects that may lead to the next big program idea. We also have some advanced research concept topics. That's out of our Defense Sciences Office. That's one of our newer small business or small entry points. And when I say small, I mean smaller in dollar value, but not smaller in significance. All of the things that you see on this chart are great ways to get started, because many of them may lead to a larger DARPA program. Many of them may form the basis, maybe our market research, for supporting a larger effort. Our advanced research concepts is our newest one out of our Defense Sciences Office, and those are $300,000 awards that are made underneath the different ARC topics. There are multiple awards under each topic, so I would encourage you to check that out. It's a great way to get involved. You can see we have different explorations, similar concept and disruption opportunities. I'm going to spend a lot of the rest of the time talking about SIBRs, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we have started doing pitch days. We do them infrequently, but we have started doing pitch days, and the feedback has been phenomenal. It's a great way for you not only to pitch your idea to a program manager, but also to come and meet other potential proposers that could end up being teaming partners for you. And then our Young Faculty Awards. Our Young Faculty Awards are great ways to expose early career PhDs to DARPA's mission. The goal is to really get you involved with DARPA, and hopefully that's the start of a future partnership where you can become a performer on any of the things you see listed here. But before I get to Sivers, our newest effort that is not yet on here because we are still piloting it is our Expedited Research Implementation Series Marketplace. And I'm going to turn over to Jess to go over that.
Great, thank you. So as Jen mentioned, this is the newest initiative as an opportunity for you as an entry point into the agency. So it's currently being piloted by the Strategic Technologies Office out of DARPA. There are 4 topic areas available, and you'll see those listed here, and they're also available on the DARPA Connect site at darpaconnect.us/ERIS. But we've done a lot of travel through DARPA Connect and looked for opportunities to get feedback about what works well for people in terms of pitching their ideas to the agency, where they have challenges. And we've consistently heard that for new small businesses, people who've never worked with the DoD before, the process of actually building out a full proposal can be really daunting and intimidating. You may be at a small business that doesn't have resources to help support the proposal development process, or if you're an academic, you may not have access to the back office support that can work with you to package your ideas and share them with the agency. And so in response to some of those challenges, and also to try to really drive velocity and make sure that new ideas can get to the agency as quickly as possible, the ERIS Solutions Marketplace was designed as an opportunity for folks to create video pitches that can get your ideas into the hands of DARPA program managers efficiently and give you a clear pathway towards working with the agency. So what is ERIS? A little cheat sheet here for you. And as Jen mentioned, these slides will be available. So this is a great resource that you can come back to. But ERIS is designed as a marketplace of 7-minute video pitches that become available to DARPA program managers and others with .mil accounts. So it's not just exposing your ideas to DARPA, but anyone with a .mil email address. It's meant to be an opportunity for them to be able to identify new innovations, streamline the procurement process, and really accelerate that contract award. So we put videos through an assessment process. There's a rubric available online. If you go on, you'll see that there are very clear criteria for what you're expected to include in your 7 minutes. It's evaluated by a set of subject matter experts who happen to be DARPA alumni. So these are people who've worked with the agency before, are very comfortable and familiar with DARPA expectations. Then they go through an additional review by a DARPA program manager, and those that are deemed awardable are then considered post-competition. So at that point, and from that marketplace, anyone who has OT authorities or other transaction authority is able to go in and make an award off the marketplace. They can work with you directly, reach out to you to learn more about what you're doing, and move forward with you on a project. So we're very excited that this is headed into month 5 at this point. Submissions are accepted on a rolling basis. And what that means for you is that for those topic areas that are open, we're collecting submissions from the 1st through the end of every month. And if you miss a deadline, so we know we've got one coming up next week, you'll be able to submit within the next assessment period. So, if that new idea comes to you 2 months from now, those topic areas are still available. You can submit just in time and continue to have your contributions considered there as well. A few other benefits for you from the industry perspective are that this gives you some really great comprehensive feedback. So you get feedback within a 2 to 3 week window. You'll get that from the subject matter experts and from the DARPA reviewer. So whether you're awardable or not, you get comprehensive insight into your submission and how it was received by the agency. You also get the ability to revise and resubmit. So if you get some feedback that your video may have missed out in a certain area and you need to enhance it, you can meet with our ERIS team at any point in time. We've got consultants ready and office hours available for you, and we can walk you through feedback and recommendations to help improve your proposal as well. So definitely a different approach to proposal evaluation and the feedback cycle, trying to make sure that for those who are new contributors, you really have an opportunity to learn about how to make an impactful first impression and get your ideas in front of program managers. Once you get that awardable status, you can use that not just at DARPA, but with other .mil agencies as well, So at that point, you can reach out to a program manager, say, hey, I have this idea. I'd love to work with you. And I have awardable status on the marketplace. So it gives us a pathway to be able to connect and move forward. Just as an overview of how the marketplace works, you can see is that single point of entry, you'll upload a video. We have that rolling 30-day evaluation period. We have the expert reviewers who are giving you feedback within 2 weeks. After those reviewers go through, as I mentioned, the PM is actually making the determination about what's awardable and what's not. Videos then immediately become available to our DARPA PMs and others with .mil accounts. They can scroll through and watch the videos. They can search them by keyword or by the information that's in the abstract. So from the end user .mil perspective, it's very easy for them to go in and learn more about what you're doing. And then they've also got your contact information and can reach out directly on next steps. And then lastly, you can see they're able to move forward with utilization. So I know this is a new model. There's a lot of questions about how it works. If you go to darpaconnect.us, there's a customer handbook there that gives you an overview of what this looks like from your government end user perspective. There's also a ton of guidance there for you as a small business or as an academic about how you can move forward in creating a successful contribution. We've got explainer videos. We've got a curriculum piece, which I'll talk about in a bit. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself there, but we've built a tremendous number of resources for you on the site to really walk you through the process, but also to ensure that at each step of the way, you've got the information and details that you need to help guide you through. So as Jen mentioned, this is currently a pilot. We're in phase 1 of the pilot at this point. I would encourage you to read the announcement on sam.gov if your work aligns to the topic areas that are open. We'll be adding additional topic areas soon, but definitely excited to see forward growth and progress here. But with that, Jen, I'll turn it back over to you to talk more about the SBIR program. Do you have anything you want to add on ARIS first?
No, I want to echo the support. You know, ARIS is our newest entry point, and the reason why I think Jess and I are both so excited is we have heard from small businesses, we've heard from researchers and academics that sometimes they just don't have tools and resources to put towards a full-blown proposal. And ARIS is really meant to be approachable access to acquisition and really lower that bar. I mean, as Jess kind of mentioned, it's a 7-minute video. All you need is a computer and a camera. And we have a step-by-step tutorial for how to get involved. So ARIS is a great way to get involved because we can quickly tell you whether or not we think there's an awardable solution there. And that kind of gives you that demand signal that we're interested in your research. So I would encourage everybody to scan that QR code and find out more about it. However, something that is not a pilot that is also very near and dear to my heart is the small entry point that I run exclusively for the agency, which is our SBIR and STTR program. Our SBIR and STTR program is quite unique across the government and across the DoD. And let me level set everybody. I pulled some numbers beforehand, but I pulled from Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and New York. And over the past 5 years, DARPA has received over 230 proposals from this region for our SBIRs and STTRs, and we have made over 150 awards. So that's a pretty good hit and win rate for this region. So I am excited to hopefully get that win rate to go up a little higher too. So how do we do our program, right? We're a little different. And I kind of say that DARPA runs on these 4 pillars of innovation in the SBIR and STTR program. Just like the rest of the agency, we do a just-in-time topic development. We used to do a just-in-time topic release for our SBIR and STTR topics, but new this year across the DoD, the DoD now will release topics on the first Wednesday of every month. And we did that to allow predictability for small businesses to know when to be checking for potential proposal opportunities. So first Wednesday of every month, I would check to see if there are any new DARPA topics. But what do we do also that's different and unique? And that is that we tie our DARPA programs, our SBIR topics to our larger DARPA programs. And our program managers run these topics from the outset. They dream up the idea, They do the proposal review and they make the award recommendations. And now, while you may say that just seems like common sense, I will tell you that that doesn't happen across the government. So because our program managers are involved from the outset, and because we tie our SBIR topics to our larger DARPA programs, what that does is really have our program managers invest in these SBIR and STTR performers. They partner with them from the get-go, and being tied to a larger DARPA program really allows our SBIR and STTR performers a lot of the same transition opportunities that they would have if they were on a larger program. We find it very beneficial. Our last pillar is our newest, which is also a pilot, our SBIR XL, and that is a larger award that aims to ask the question, if we give you a larger amount of money for your SBIR, is a direct to phase 2 SBIR, and if we can help you more clearly outline transition and commercialization milestones from the start, can we help you get from lab to market quicker? It is still very early in the pilot stages, but I will tell you that we released our first one in late 2020, and we are already seeing it pay dividends with one of our performers going from 2 to 40 employees and doing multiple raises of over $30 million and also getting another $30 million or so in government contracts. So far it is proving successful. But let's talk about money, because everyone always wants to know about that. Let's go to the next slide. Again, our program's a little bit different. We tend to do $250,000 phase 1 feasibility studies, and they're about 6 months. Although I will tell you, I am in the process of trying to shorten those. I'm trying to shorten them because the number that we picked was absolutely deliberate. We are doing $250,000 awards for our phase 1s because we are actually issuing a purchase order to get you on contract. Now, why is that significant? $250,000 is the max that we can give with the simplified acquisition threshold to issue a purchase order. And we can get you on contract in an average of 10 days. In fact, we have had instances where we have gotten our performers on contract and they weren't ready to start work because we moved so quickly. The goal really is to get you on contract as quick as possible to get money in the hand so we can start our work. Our phase 2s are typically about $1.8 million. We do have a matching program that we will match up to $500,000. And then the key on this slide really is those bottom 2 bang boxes, right? That phase 2 values really can exceed these numbers. Typically we do $1.8 million, but sometimes that tech is so special that we will get a waiver from the SBA and go above even the SBIR cap. Other times we get other agencies to put more money on our phase 2 contracts, and there's no cap in the amount of non-SBIR, STTR earmarked funding that can be applied to a SBIR. So I like to say that $1.8 million is where our phase 2s start, but with a little bit of persistence on your part and on mine, it's not where they end, and we frequently get additional money added. So let's talk about how we use this program and use that extra money. Let's go to the next slide. At DARPA, we really are creatively enabling our SBIR program. This slide shows you all the tools that are available to my program managers at DARPA. And many of actually all of these tools, with the exception of the SBIR XL, are available across the government. Phase 1s and direct to phase 2s are how we release our topics. And I would say we're about a third of our phase 1, or a third of our topics are released as phase 1, a third are released as direct to phase 2s. And then there's that sweet spot where about a third are phase 1s and direct to phase 2s, because we want to make sure we're hitting all of our ideas. But if you move down the chart, you see sequential or concurrent phase 2s. Our program managers here at DARPA are here on a limited tenure. They're here for about 3 to 5 years. And why is that? Well, if you want to do revolutionary ideas, you can't do revolutionary and stay ahead of state-of-the-art technology by having the same people sitting in the seats all the time. So what we do is we rotate our program managers in and out on term bases. And so sometimes we will issue concurrent phase 2s so that we can get to that transition finish line quicker. We also sometimes will just do back-to-back sequential phase 2s. And then the other thing about phase 2s, if we slide across the chart, is that they can be issued years apart. Now, why is that important? Because across the chart, you see adoptions. And they also are commonly referred to as cross-agency awards. At DARPA, a lot of times, we will pick up other SBIR topics that maybe only had a phase 1 and didn't progress, or they had a phase 1 and only a phase 2 from another agency. every SBR and STTR topic can have up to 2 phase 2s. They can be sequential, they can be concurrent, or they can be years apart. So at DARPA, with our program managers on limited tenure, we really take advantage of this adoption process, and we do an average of, I would say, 40 or so a year. So if you, when we get to Jess's presentation, if you see a connection with us, I encourage you, if you've ever had an SBR and didn't progress, you didn't cap out, meaning you didn't have 2 phase 2s, reach out to program managers and mention that you're eligible for adoption. Why that's important is adoptions are done with SBIR and STTR dollars as opposed to regular DARPA dollars. And SBIR and STTR dollars are pretty easy to get. DARPA dollars, program managers have to ask their office directors and whatnot. So wherever you can, I would say you're eligible for adoptions. Going down the screen, we have enhancements and co-funds. I talked about enhancements on the last slide, that's our matching program. And then then across is the co-funds. And that's what I was talking about earlier. We get lots of money from other agencies because our topics are tied to larger DARPA programs. Because our topics have the support at the outset from our program managers, they tend to really capture the interest of services. When you are doing revolutionary ideas, DARPA is where you are going to start, but it's never going to be where you end. We don't have labs, we don't make things, buy things, build things. We are never the end users, and sometimes we're the integrators. So what does that mean? That means we have to get other agencies and outside commercial investors interested from the jump so that we can help give you legs to transition outside the agency. Part of that comes from co-funding by getting money from other agencies to put on an SBIR or an STTR. And then our last piece of this puzzle is our SBIR XL pilot, which I mentioned on our last slide. But in the interest of time, let's move on to the next slide. And I talked a little bit, I didn't realize we had a SBIR XL pilot topic. I'm going to go ahead and skip this because I talked a little about this, and we're going to distribute the slides because I want to get to transition. So we'll go to the next slide. Because we are not the end users, we have to really focus on transition at DARPA. For those of you that are familiar with the SBIR and STTR program, DARPA does not participate in TABA, the Technical Advisory Business Assistance Program. What we do is we have our own transition and commercialization support program, and we get involved with our SBIR and STTR performers at the outset. For phase 1, we offer support and resources to help you progress to a phase 2. But once you get a phase 2, we really dig in and try to help you get what I like to call the great pair of legs, so that you can walk out of the agency and your technology will continue to grow. So how do we do that? Let's go to the next slide. We do this by running our TCSP program on 3 principles: performer engagement and education, transition partner engagement, and then growth opportunities and exposure. So what does that mean? We engage with you early and often. The second you get a contract award finalized, my transition team will reach to you to schedule a kickoff call where we want to really go over your goals and expectations for the SBIR and where you think it can go so that we start working with you early. We do a lot of transition engagement, and we put you in front of end users, whether that be primes or the services or other components early. Oftentimes earlier than anybody's really comfortable with, but because we're working on revolutionary ideas, sometimes we get so focused on the research that we don't think about the final prototype that we're making. And so it's best to engage early with transition partners so that we hear from them what the utility is that they're looking for. We never want to get to the end of a SBIR program and hear a colleague at the services say, this would have been helpful if it was, minus 10x the size, right? So we try to have those conversations early. We do a lot of technical interchange meetings with our primes to try to get you as much exposure and potential pathways as possible, right? And we do a lot of growth opportunities for you and events. It is not uncommon for me to go to an event and bring a performer to come and speak on a performer panel. We also do send out weekly opportunity alerts, and I highlight that because once you are a current or alumni SBIR performer at DARPA, you get these weekly opportunity alerts that tell you not only opportunities going on at DARPA, but what other educational or conferences, opportunities are coming up, or what other solicitations we think that might be beneficial for you. And a lot of times I have heard from our performers that but for these weekly opportunity alerts, they might have missed a potential solicitation. Let's go to the next slide. So I talked about this a little bit on that previous slide, right? But at DARPA, because we're not the end users, right, we have to work multiple pathways concurrently. So this slide just really doubles down on that, right? At any given time, we are working with the same performer to have conversations within the DoD, with our primes, or if they're so inclined, even with angel investment. At DARPA, we also have a pilot, another pilot, which is our commercial strategy team. And for select groups of DARPA performers, they are invited to participate in either our embedded entrepreneur initiative, where we embed an entrepreneur into a company for a year to help them speed up lab to market, or they could be invited into our commercial accelerator program. We have multiple accelerators that we are running concurrently throughout the country, or they could just be nominated to have conversations with our senior commercialization advisors. The goal is really to help your technology transition from lab to market. Okay, next slide. Speaking of pilots, you're seeing a theme here. We have lots of pilots going on at DARPA. You know, we want to be working with people like you. Unfortunately, sometimes where we need people like you, these innovators, these small businesses, these new researchers that are super excited to work with us, sometimes we need you in classified work. But there's an issue because you don't have a clearance, because you don't have a need to know, but you don't have a need to know because you don't have a clearance. And so we asked a question: what would happen if we gave a select group of people an opportunity to bid on a white paper to get their FCL, their facility clearance, and then give them access to some of the problems that we are grappling with at DARPA? Could they help? And why that's so important is because people like you on the line, you know how important it is to take big swings and big risks. And sometimes when we have companies that are larger or that have been doing this for a while, they take calculated risks. Well, at DARPA, we don't take calculated risks. We take big swings. And you guys know better than anybody, if you don't take those big swings, you may not be here in 6 months or a year. So Bridges attempts to ask the question, if we can get you cleared and if we can give you a location, right now it's MITRE, to view classified problems we're grappling with, could you get involved and help us? And it's still a pilot. I would go to our website, darpa.mil/bridges, to get more information on the Bridges program, but it's basically a broad agency announcement with topics released underneath it that you can bid against to become a Bridges performer. This is, I will say, Bridges 1.0. So far, the results have been pretty good, but we want to continue to grow the program. So stay tuned for an evolution of the Bridges program. But it is a great way to start getting new innovators involved in some of the classified issues that we are grappling with. Next slide. Okay. I know I talked a lot quickly, but I do want to try to keep a little bit of time for questions if we can. So I just always include the slide because these are resources, and because we will send out slides, you can click on any of these once you get the slides as ways to get involved with DARPA. And with that, I think we'll just pop up our QR codes, and then I'm going to turn it over to Jess for what I'm really excited about. And that's our newest initiative to really help you get involved with DARPA. Jess?
Thanks, Jen. All right. So as Jen mentioned, you know, we've talked a lot about the various different entry points for how you can work with the agency, but recognize that it takes a lot of resources to ensure that you have the knowledge and information necessary to be successful when you're prepared to engage. So DARPA Connect is really designed to be that front door to the agency for you, to help guide you through where to go and what to do when you're ready to share your ideas. But before I jump in, another just really brief video to level set and provide some context around what DARPA Connect is designed to do.
There are a lot of problems in the world. The one that really keeps me up at night is the fact that the ideas that might be out there which could solve those problems and those threats to national security, we might actually never hear or might be missing entirely.
It can be really overwhelming and daunting to work with a government agency. You don't know where to begin. You don't know how to find your resources.
We often use the phrase DARPA hard to describe the difficult and really transformational work that we do as an agency. The process of actually coming to DARPA and getting their ideas to us or giving us their solutions to the problems that we propose should not be DARPA hard. DARPA Connect is a comprehensive program. It offers a whole variety of different services, pop-up events all around the country, workshops, educational opportunities, online curriculum, customized coaching and networking, and it's going to continue to evolve. So DARPA Connect really is designed to help us surface those bright ideas, some of the very brightest minds.
To tap those untapped resources, we're looking for young professors. We're looking for small businesses, maybe even parts of large businesses that haven't yet engaged with DARPA. We're looking for those great ideas and trying to empower them to work with us.
So you heard in that video from former DARPA Director Stephanie Tompkins, who really spearheaded this initiative in 2022 in an effort to ensure that the agency is getting new, fresh ideas for people who have never worked with DARPA before, or maybe never even thought of national security as an application for the technology and research that they're doing. So as was mentioned in that video, DARPA Connect is designed to be a comprehensive program. We have a variety of different tools and resources that we provide, and I'll walk through each of these in more detail momentarily. But DARPAconnect.us really is that central hub for everything that we do, and you'll see that link pop up a few times. So just be sure to check it out if you haven't already. The pop-up events that we host throughout the country are really meant to be an opportunity for you to hear directly from DARPA leadership, DARPA program managers, and staff, and our team at DARPA Connect to really give you that full day experience about what it means to work with DARPA. We start with the DARPA 101, do a deep dive into funding opportunities. You'll hear directly from program managers about how you can engage with the agency and with them directly to share your ideas. And you also get a lot of opportunities for tips and strategies for proposal success and to network with not only the DARPA attendees, but also other people in your region who may be interested in working with DARPA. So as I mentioned, we host them throughout the country. This is our current schedule for 2025. In addition to the on-site events, we also have a virtual pop-up, which is custom tailored for a remote audience. So definitely something to check out there as well. I know, resource constraints and travel as we look at these locations and where you all are likely located may not align closely. So definitely an excellent option for you there. All of our in-person pop-ups also have a virtual component as well. So we encourage you to check those out. Our next one is currently scheduled for Huntsville, Alabama on May 13th. We recently held a pop-up in Minneapolis, and the recording from that session is currently available online. So be sure to check that out if that's of interest. As I mentioned, DARPAconnect.us is the central hub. So right there in the middle, you'll see a Join DARPA Connect button. It's free and easy to sign up. So definitely encourage you to do that. You'll get information about how to access your account, and then it'll open availability for all of the resources that we offer through the program. We do those full day pop-up events. It's an excellent opportunity for us to showcase how to work with the agency, but those are only a single day. And so we were looking for opportunities for consistent touch points. And out of that, the DARPA Connect Corner was formed. So the Connect Corner is a cadence of regular webinars that we host through the platform to give you touch points to hear directly from folks within the agency about the mechanics of how to work with DARPA around specific topics. So we host monthly webinars. In fact, we just held one yesterday about the ERIS initiative. That recording is available online, so you can go check that out. We also host Ask Me Anything open Q&A sessions as well. And if you're looking for something more personalized and one-on-one opportunity to meet with the DARPA Connect team, we offer 30-minute coaching sessions as well as 10-minute office hour drop-ins that are just for you. You can sign up for those slots to talk directly to our team about your research or your questions, and we can help you interface directly with the agency. And then the last one I'll mention there at the bottom is the open mic with DARPA. This is our newest session type. It's a 30-minute monthly webinar that we host to give you high-level overviews of opportunities to engage with the different tech offices. It also has a featured speaker. So the April session is available for registration now. I would encourage you to go on and check that out and get signed up so that you can join us. In addition to the live webinars, we also have a number of just-in-time resources available to you. So our customized curriculum grows quarterly. This list is only a sampling of the resources that are available online. The curriculum pieces take about 30 minutes to complete, and they give you a deeper dive into specific topics that will help benefit you when engaging with the agency. So for example, there's a lesson on the SBIR and STTR program if you want a deeper dive into some of the information that Jen covered today. We also have tips and strategies for DARPA proposal success. If you're a global participant or if you work on a team that has folks who may not be US citizens, there is still a place to work with DARPA, and there's a lesson that'll guide you through what that global participation looks like and opportunities to work with the agency. So I would definitely encourage you to check these out. Our two newest lessons, which are a great fit for today's topics, include how to navigate the ARIS marketplace. So those explainer videos that I mentioned earlier are structured through a lesson that walks you through tips and strategies for an effective video. And there's also a lesson that deep dives into those entry points that Jen showcased up front. So that slide that had all of those different opportunities to engage with the agency, this lesson gives you a deeper dive into what each of those are and how you as a new contributor can get started. So DARPA Connect is meant to be that overarching program to help support and guide you through how to work with the agency. You can see we've got our email address there. It's just darpaconnect@darpa.mil if you have follow-up questions. No, we don't have a ton of time for Q&A, so I'll wrap it there. But if we don't get to your questions today, that email address is a great opportunity for you to follow up with us and make sure that you get a chance to ask any questions that you may have had. So with that, I'm going to stop my screen share, and Ishrat, I'll turn it back over to you for Q&A.
Yes, so thank you, Jennifer and Jess, for sharing such valuable insights and bringing all of these programs, the DARPA Connect, DARPA pop-up events, the SBIR STTR program, the bridges, and the DARPA and the ARIS program, the marketplace. Actually, I have attended the webinar on ARIS marketplace yesterday, which I found to be so helpful. It was so detailed. You know, I went through some of the lessons and so much link was shared. So if you go to the ARIS marketplace page, everything that you need to know about the program is there. Very easy to understand, I found. And also the customized the curriculums that Jess was talking about, I also navigated through. It's really an easy platform for e-learning. So much resources available there. So I really highly recommend everyone to create a account with DARPA Connect and take advantage of all of these resources that's out there. So we hope this discussion has provided valuable takeaway and inspiration for collaborations and progress. We've covered a lot of important ground today, and now would like to open the floor for questions. So please continue to submit your questions in the Q&A box. But to help facilitate the Q&A sections, I'm pleased to introduce my co-facilitator, David Pease. David is a respected leader in the Apex Accelerator community. He is with the New Hampshire Apex Accelerator, and he's previously served as the president of NAPEX, the National Apex Accelerator Alliance. So welcome, David.
Thank you, Ishrat, and thank you very much, Jess and Jennifer. It's been an exceptionally complete and detailed presentation. Embedded in your presentation, I think we will find the answers to all of the questions that we've had, but we can take a few minutes in the remaining time left to maybe hit some of them again. The first one is from one of our attendees whose company specializes in a patented anti-theft technology, which has applications for deterring copper theft, securing critical infrastructure, and tracking high-value assets. I think I know the answer to this, but is that something that would be a potential fit for DARPA?
So I will start there, and then I'll turn over to Jess. There is always an issue with critical minerals, right? And so yeah, it could be something that is applicable to DARPA, or it could be something that we may say we're more on the R&D side, and that may be a little more for protecting the R&D, and we may refer you to other colleagues at other agencies. So my best advice is to start with DARPA Connect and talk with one of our coaches, and they can help direct you. Jess, any more to add?
No, I think that's exactly right. And in kind of a broader context, so certainly that specific technology, but really for any of the technologies that your companies may be working on, if you've already solved the problem, if you're at a higher TRL level, if you're ready for commercialization, or you're looking for a buyer, DARPA is likely not the home for that. But that doesn't mean that we can't have those conversations, right? Because there may be chances to plug in to existing programs in ways that you haven't thought of before. And so DARPA Connect is happy to help facilitate those questions and see where there might be opportunities to expand and grow within the agency. So please feel free to reach out. Don't count yourself out, right? Without having those conversations, it's always best to explore what opportunities there may be.
Thank you. That is exactly the response I expected, and I know it is a pressing question for many of our small business clients who have incremental, not revolutionary innovations and don't really know where to take them. And DARPA is not the place where they're likely to wind up, but the fact that you can offer them some guidance is terrific. Can you tell me what factors DARPA prioritizes when evaluating proposals for funding in any of the programs? Are there any best practices that you would advise our attendees of?
So Jen, I know that the 3 key evaluation criteria that we see, regardless of the type of program, tend to be the technical merit, the relevance to the DARPA mission, and then cost realism, right? So thinking about DARPA is not necessarily deterred by cost. So we always encourage people, don't underbid or don't overinflate. Be realistic about what you expect to need to be able to solve the problem. But at the end of the day, the D in DARPA is defense, right? And so while DARPA holistically serves the warfighter, ensuring that you're thinking about how your research may fit within that DARPA mission, but then also bringing forward that technical merit is critical. I've heard the contracts management officers saying, if you have a proposal that may be less than stellar in the way you've built your budget or in some of the more technical pieces, but the scientific merit is there, that's what really needs to shine through to be of most value to the agency. Jen, I don't know if that aligns with your thoughts as well.
Yeah, I will just add, right, to read the solicitation carefully. Jess is absolutely right with cost realism. SIBRs have slightly different evaluation criterias, but read the solicitation carefully because it will tell you. And also check out our curriculum modules on DARPA Connect, because we do have proposals, tips, and tricks, I think, on there as a module. And take a look at some of our recorded webinars too, because that will help you as you are thinking about putting your proposal together. But my advice really is to take advantage of DARPA Connect, because what I like to tell new entrants is I think that the work you do upfront before responding to a proposal can be just as valuable or important as the work you do on the proposal. Because I think while focusing on specific areas is really important, the program managers are really looking for you to demonstrate that you understand the agency. And so demonstrating that you understand how a program manager thinks is really important, and DARPA Connect and all the resources available there can really help with that. Thanks.
Thank you both. Ishrat, I think that brings us to time, does it not?
Yes. So as we wrap up today's sessions, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to both Jennifer and Jess for your time today. Finally, to all our attendees, thank you for for joining us today, and we appreciate your engagement and your thoughtful questions. Please reach out to our APEX counselors for any follow-up questions regarding today's topic or any aspects of government contracting. So we are here to support you on your government contracting journey. So follow us, the CTAPEX Accelerator on social media, including Facebook and LinkedIn. Also, don't forget to visit the CTAPEX calendar page for our upcoming events and workshops. Thank you again, everyone, for your time, and it's been a pleasure hosting this webinar, and what great informations for the innovation ecosystems and everyone who's interested in DARPA. So have a wonderful day. Thank you again.